Listen.
The baby blue eyes and the blonde hair. You know what that is.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I'm
Wow.
just kidding, bro. I'm just kidding.
All right, guys. Well, you did. Thank you for helping us with the intro to our YouTube video. That was our very enthusiastic member inside of the Discord. I'm just kidding. But today on the cues, we did have that bank holiday lack of volume, and we sat in a box. We did retest a floor, and again, I am looking, as this is kind of flat movement. But what this does is it does allow for a potential catalyst to set up. Now, this is going to be a little bit tougher because we have two boxes which stand for two triggers. One trigger is obviously the 599.69, and that's only taken us down here, right? This has been a level across the board, but this area would be where we would retest. And of course, there's a ton of empty space. But you remember what we did to have to get there. And of course, on the upside, the same thing is going to be true. Today, we retested a floor that is going to set us up for recovery, right? 603.75 being that ledge that we need to grab hold of. Freaky Discord, excited to join. Yeah, you should be. Watch what you say, though. 603.75, that is where I would assume upside up into that 607 floor. So if we're looking for that upside, that's where we'll find it. As of right now, as I speak, we are bouncing off of the 601. So as of right now, everything is speculation, right? Have we grabbed the hold of the floor? No, but we are closing up against it. Not bad. Not great. We'll see what the end of the day brings. And then to the downside, we have a bounce here, which represents a possible reversal, right? If you leg down here quickly or gap down overnight, that's going to open up a play here. So all in all, what I'm saying here is if you take a position, it's going to be speculative. But if you are planning on trading tomorrow when everything is open and all the money comes rushing back in, again, not a bad day to speculate because of all the empty space above and below. But make sure that the cost of your that does not mean speculation means that you're able to grab contracts that obviously fit the script. So with that being said, the target above is 607. There's a 599.50. If that punchback occurs, it's a 597 target down. So you can use those. Of course, there's more, but you would, again, if you're going to speculate outside of that, all the way to 590, you better have some information or, again, we just don't have that trigger. Now, that being said, 24-hour candle close has gained and held, but not recovered. So we are still in range. If we get an open tomorrow in the same range, banks are not, we could see that movement that I described to you earlier. Big leg down, pop, maybe end of the day, we get a punch back through the box we're building now. So I think this is a great read and react scenario, and I'd be excited to actually, so this is a scenario where I would day trade outside of possibly speculating, because of the potential both up and down. And of course, runners could run in these scenarios. Trump is definitely trying to paint the picture right now that everything is just cured. And of course, with the taco movement, that's great. I saw an interview with him with a reporter letting him know that Israel had bombed Gaza again, and he was disappointed in that. So not everything is smoothed over. Again, I don't know with the China situation, if there's been any updates. So again, we're still dealing with Trump volatility. You're free to speculate on that. Moving on. SPY. This one stayed in range for sure. Basically hanging out around cost basis, around the old 50% mark of this range. Interestingly, I mean, that's pretty interesting to me, because basically today's candle is looking like it might split that in half. Like the cues, it does have a setup, but it's already played out a little bit more where we're starting to leg down. So we are underneath seller control. We're not quite there to cost basis, and we do have a punch back above the 664 mark. So naturally, with the empty space all the way up to the 667 mark, that could be far more interesting to speculate on. That it was disgusting. Ugh, tonic water. Anyway, that being said, to the downside, we also have a gap. I think this is probably best revealed on the 15-minute. Again, we're always looking for clarity. This is where I'm finding it. There's also a lower time frame channel that you can apply to that as well. Of course, channels can expand, but we'll deal with the points of contact that we have currently. So again, not much of a signal, maybe a little bit more. But tomorrow, again, I'm not going to be disappointed if I have to day trade. I'm looking forward to it if that does occur. All right. Last one, IWM, which honestly, it filled up almost all of the empty space that it lost. So if we're taking that as a potential guide, we're looking at the 245.47. I don't even need to go any further up to tell you that, but where we are currently at is here. And that is that 244.42. So if that gets filled, expect the box up above to potentially go higher. This also means that this channel that you had here is recovered. Maybe we get a punchback. That obviously is going to be triggered through these two boxes overhead, 246.42. And we're looking pretty good hourly candle close. Mo, hold on a second. What does that say? Hello? That's how you say hello in Arabic? Cool. Hello. Assalamu alaikum. All right. That is all three ETFs today. Tomorrow, as far as economic data, we've got Fed Chair Powell speaking at 12:20. So outside of the potential news overnight, we have Fed Chair Powell speaking midday. And then, oh, don't have an account. Let's see here. Next day. Yeah, nothing much after that. So now I do want to talk about this really quickly. If we do open up in range again tomorrow and things set up the way they are, being antsy or trying to jump the gun will get you fried, because opening up in range, regardless of the dump, means that we're waiting. Volume is building to make that move, whatever it may be, and we might need that after a large leg down, bring the contract prices down. So don't be mad at a gift if we don't end up moving tomorrow. That is going to, again, some of the days where things are opening up in range, like today, if you day traded the Qs or SPY or IWM, IWM obviously might have been a little bit of an exception. Either A, obviously that is what you do and you're good at it, or you're being an idiot and you know better, because obviously that is going to be a whole lot harder for you to trade. And that is, obviously, could potentially lead into tomorrow, where we start choppy and then lead into a break. So jumping the gun could get you fried. All right. That being said, what website is that? That was just Forex Factory. Alrighty, that is all three ETFs. And as far as our watch list, I know a lot of you guys are still looking at Tesla. This one did jack up all the way into that empty space. Obviously, if you have any hedges or anything like that, this is something that, due to the channel setup and the empty space right here, we could be looking at a target of 253.78, not to overcomplicate it. Now, I shouldn't even mention it, but because of that, all of this empty space has been filled. If overnight news keeps us in range, or you open up basically right around here and then chop, this could play out as a rejection. One of the cool things, though, is if we did see a gap down on something like this, that would be a no-brainer setup to gap fill and probably rip up into that target. Obviously, with Tesla trading inside of a range, regardless of if you're trading in a range, you're liable to get burnt. So looking for confirmation here, you can see how that overhead candle close plays out and where you would need to close in order to continue higher. All right. And I mean, that being said, with a large leg down like that and a big whip up like this, if we do see continued highs, that's squeeze out territory. Lots of money to be made. All right. AI is obviously one that everybody is talking about. And this one, like everything else, went back up, filled its empty space. And like Tesla, is closing at cost basis. So if you have those positions, you re-entered or what have you, this is not a get out signal for sure. Obviously, this is something that we're looking to see if we can get a gap up. Positive news. We got a great setup potentially to get up to that 22.35. Market cooperation is a must. It has to happen. I like the punchback potential here. Stop losses would have to be somewhere around that 1870. I would be looking here on the 30-minute. Yep. So 1873. And then you have kind of this little box right here that'll kind of help guide you as far as whether this or if this rejects or not. There's a pocket of empty space directly above us at the top of at 1250. And so into this volume around 1978 would be something I'd like to see going into tomorrow. What time frame do I use for entry? So at the end of the day, I use a 24-hour candle, and intraday, I have to use whatever candle is the clearest. I typically have that setup mapped out in pre-market, and I will do top-down analysis from the 4-hour to the 1-hour to the 15-minute. And if as I move down, I see that clarity follows me all the way to the 5, then that's something that I'll set. I prefer to have higher time frame candles. But sometimes a 24-hour break, I can map out on a lower time frame and take that trade. And the goal of doing that is I want to be able to set a stop loss on something structural. And if the 15-minute is telling you that it's going to punch back and continue higher on the 24, then it's probably a good idea to use that 15-minute time frame as an entry. So honest question, what's a good stop loss when big moves happen overnight? When so that's where we hedge, Nick. That's what happened with the Qs today. We swing into events like that after a big move, and it is imperative that you have something on the other side just in case. And typically what we'll do, I had longer expiration puts, and so I bought shorter expiration calls for cheaper and farther out of the money, and that worked out. So it could have been better, but Ivy. Oh my God. I might have to use that, dude. Why's my nose getting so big though? Why'd you make my nose so big, dude?
You really want the real answer for that?
I don't. I know exactly what you put in that prompt, you little shit. It's awful. It's awful. All right. Cool. So I'm sure you guys.
By the way, it just happened.
Mm-hmm. All right. If you guys have any requests, I'm going to try to move through these really quickly, and I mean really, really quickly. So let me know what you're looking for. But what I'm really trying to focus on here with the time that we have, it's 3:18. I'd really like to focus on earnings here just for tonight, and see if we can obviously just run through those quick. I know a good setup when I see one. I don't need to spend 300 minutes or 300, fucking seconds even, on a chart. I need to take a peek at it. And if it has the empty space and compression that we're looking for and it moves well on earnings, then we should be able to add that one to the watch list. So, all right, let's move through these as quickly as possible. Qs or QS? Anna? I don't know if she's here, but I don't want to give her analysis that doesn't get back to me on that one. If she's not here, I want her to hear this analysis anyway.
She did say QQQ.
Oh, really? Okay, I covered that one then. Cool. CRM. Ivy should be posting or did post that one. I actually, obviously, I think we've talked about this one before. Very nice curl up. It still has that gap down below at the floor, but obviously pushing up. The only overhead resistance that I can see, and again, we're not in a perfect box, right? If anything, right now, what I can see as far as points of contact, if I can't see a box, I'm focused on points of contact. We're going to have to go with that. again, not a box, but outside of 250 psychological number, that is where I believe we would meet our floor / resistance, which is the 256. Now, because of the empty space up above it and the compression that it's coming out of, that is certainly a possibility. Now, you take a look at this thing on the weekly, right? And that's a weekly punchback. So naturally, that cost basis and that 265 would be big. But the first target is going to be 256. What did I say? 265. I'm sorry. Happy birthday, but oh my god, don't start with that shit again. All right. Here we go. Get out of here. Get out of here. Earnings. I went over this one this morning, Chad. Not my favorite. What I did learn from this chart is while it does have some hits, a lot of those hits also come after, right? Here we get some consolidation after earnings, then a big ass dump. Here consolidation, then a big ass rip. So longer expirations on this one. That being said, there is empty space and a first target of 88. Naturally, one could be looking at a big juicy dump over an extended period of time to possibly all the way as far as 78.50 or 78.45, and then but 83.50 would be kind of the most, punch down. First target 88. That's a range. And so naturally underneath or through that range, we'd be looking at that as a first target. And then the rest of that empty space would be looming. To the upside, obviously today you gapped up, back up above that wall. So this puts you on a lower time frame and shows multiple catalysts, right? So you punch back there and punch back here. No, we're going to stick with that floor. So, if it could do both of those on or after earnings, then you're looking at new highs. And of course, with new highs, 110, 115, I can't really help you there. Open, that one's not making my watch list, but I am, again, trying to do this little earnings account thing. So that one's going to be a skip. Open door AI headline on Uppy's happy birthday. Oh my god, get out of here. 787 would be recovery number one. That has to happen. You do have several positive catalysts directly up above you, and they are well structured, right? You have a box right here. So this 905 and 970 would be your signal for up, and away. However, looking at the fact that you're traveling in a channel, looking at the fact that there's still empty space down below, looking at the fact that you just told me there's a headline. Come down. Huh?
I'm referring to on like semiconductor, but I'm saying like maybe the headline they have is OpenAI.
Oh, that was a very deceptive. I didn't read the whole thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of skipped over some words there. Well, if anybody wants this could be a good play one day. Anyway, that one's going down to 640 if it can't hold that floor on. Now that looks better. 24-hour, you did go down, fill up the empty space underneath you, retest your little danger zone down here at 46.21, recover the floor. This puts sellers, right? Tell the story. The story is sellers might be screwed if you get above $51, because how many more times do they need to fail at their job for them to get fired? That being said, there's empty space up to 55.33. That's not a bad setup, not a bad play. Earnings is still decently far away. Is there more empty space up there? No, but there's that. And you did touch this. So those are your targets / triggers. And I mean, personally, again, I try to fit myself into places sometimes like that, where I can set a solid stop loss and I get in before that actual overhead trigger, because again, stop losses, not every chart is going to set up this way, but in this case, because of all those points of contact at what we could dub like a 25% mark, that would be a natural place that we could take it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you trade the 1 minute? No, I do not find plays on the 1 minute. Lower, if everybody can agree that the market is fractals, and I can find a play on the 1 minute as similarly as I could as on the 24-hour or the weekly, then naturally the conclusion there would be lower time frame, lower reward. So when I'm using the 1 minute, it's because I'm in something that's moving. That was not good. That I'm in something that's moving incredibly quickly, and I'm already in. I'm not trying to use the 1 minute to get in, typically, ever. So, but anyway, I'm shorting IO and Q. Hold on, we'll get to that one in a second. Let's see here. CCCL down. Yeah, so you did not respond to that floor overhead today, so perhaps tomorrow we can go ahead and fill that gap and continue the cruise down to fucking 2688 / 2582. So if you're on, we're not overboard yet. Just hang on to your whittle wife waft. You like that? Those 3 consecutive cruise puns in a row. Where else are you getting that kind of service? DKNG to the upside. I'll spare.
Hopefully
He's-
nowhere.
Oh my god! Shut up. All right. Say, I know it already hurt. The wound is there. There's no healing it now. Thanks, Dad. I mean, what? 3385 empty space all the way back up. It does not look bad. You did fill your gap. All right. Yeah, but why is DKNG so expensive? I mean, I haven't looked at the contracts today.
Crazy, man. I've been chasing this for months now.
I mean, it's got a decent little setup to like give us a squeeze. It's at a great place to maybe do that. It's got empty space directly up above it. It bounced off its gap. It's closing green. It's got 34 directly up above it as its only resistance, and then it's got 35. But this is the kind of setup that should have dirt cheap contracts. I mean, weeklies are
I'm going-
cheap.
I'm going to put this on my BA list.
Yeah, right. Gets close sometimes. I hardly ever trade DKNG, but I'm not ignoring anybody, guys. If you're on TikTok, I try to make sure I take all the requests from. There's not a lot. There's only one more, or maybe 2 more. Chad's typing. Oh my god. But I'll get to your guys' requests, guys. So obviously, if you paid me, you would expect that I pay attention to your request. But I do try to slip them in and or prioritize them as soon as I get done. All right. I mean, you could try with 3550s. I mean, those are cheap. But with this, because of the resistance ahead of you, it makes sense to look out further. I mean, empty space, trigger there. And I believe that with this sort of setup, it's got to be, something catalyst wise, because this could get messy. I'm gonna be honest with you. If DKNG doesn't get anything, together we chop. And this is not unusual for DKNG, right? With these big whippy moves down, like look, empty space, and then chop ass. So you might get that fill back up, and that might be worth trying. But I mean, if you're going to take the position long, you would still want to do it here. You don't want to not take something because something might happen. You take something and then you respond accordingly. If it rejects, you have a level that it needs to stay above. If it loses it, you can get out maybe a little bit green or back up shop. But 18 days away, I think I would rather play at the 3750 mark. Or, yeah. Which again, I feel like another week on that might be a better option. 40 is right there. I mean, look at how it felt. I mean, this is a case study here, empty space. I mean, it grinds there, rips there, empty space in here. You hit 50% of it coming out of consolidation with a punchback right there. I mean, I'm not in this market to fucking be scared of shit. So, 40s for 25 days out. again, mind your stop losses.
Do you still have your carnivals for this week?
Yeah.
You've been cooked, Debbie.
Huh?
Or your contract's cooked.
Mm,
I got 42s
25s?
for November 7th.
You got the 25s for this week?
yeah, they're cooked. Yeah, the 17s. I have the next week's end of October contracts too. Those are half cooked, half boiled.
Yeah, I got the end of October's, but mine are they're even. I got in really early though.
That's good. Yeah, we'll see if we get to the gap fill tomorrow with any sort of push. That's where those will return to sender. But all right, short below 94. Also, would you discuss when we consider a trade is done, i.e., all the earth plays? I am 90% out. Also, she can't hear me. That's not good. Now that does have a lot of whippy price action, both up and down. You are at a floor for the fourth time. You've got empty space directly up above. Based on how this moves and has moved in the past, I wouldn't expect it to be too long if it does hold the floor to kind of do one of these numbers and fill that empty space back up. Now, as far as the question of whether a play is done on equities, right? Let's use ELF as an example. This might be a really simple way of thinking, but I find I don't like to overcomplicate shit. So I have a couple levels marked, right? Here and here. Now, explain to you why those are my two levels that I'm going to be taking some profit or the majority of profit off of. Empty space. Simple, right? I have a floor that we're trying to recover. I have empty space and a gap at 171. This is cost basis, right? Now, I'm probably not going to reduce a ton, but when we get into this area, the empty space is done. The empty space is gone. There is no more Potter box empty space play in existence. The only thing that would be left for me, which again, you have empty space inside of the box to 209. If I can get my punch back, then the rest of those runners run. Psychological targets like 250, or 300. A lot of the times like PLTR, I took a lot of profit, in the hundreds. And then as we, ripped way higher, I just tried to leave what I could on the table and make what I could off of it. I mean, it was obviously more than one could anticipate after what felt like a fucking decade of chopping. Ridiculous. Can't believe that fucking Atlas got out of that. Where's Manny? Why are you lurking, dude? Manny, I know you hear me in your big, shiny, white tiled floored house with your two dogs. Come here, Roku. All right. That'd be mad funny if Roku just ran to the computer. Or he might have his headphones in. All right. Arvin, not our earnings play, but should be on our watch list. It definitely has a whole lot of empty space. Looks like it fills that empty space up pretty well. This is the third time that you're up here. You gapped up, fell down, held your top. You do have a little bit more vulnerable space underneath you there. Who the hell knows what the hell this is? But yes, if it does look good, actually. It is curling. I think right now, if one was looking at an end of day entry, you'd be leaning on that box and the contents within it, i.e. here. That could be a retest level or a stop out level or bounce level. But yeah, that is
Contracts are reasonable too. The November 21 11s are 40 cents right now.
yeah, you got a low here of 1040 and a 1070 break. Well, I mean, it's not a box, but it is a range. So, all right. Rivian. All right, guys. If you're on Discord, we're gonna pause the request here for a second. And I'm gonna Rivian's back at the floor. It bounced off the box. We're gonna take a look at the earnings chart. If Ivy, if you'll post the earnings chart for me in there, the earnings whisper. Yeah, so as of right now, again, we dumped really hard. I was kind of, if we're gonna dump, I want it to dump fast. 1350 is the floor that needs to be recovered here. You got a good bounce off of the structure underneath you. This might be our saving grace here to move back up. Again, weekly pinch is crazy. The gap up there is crazy. And I don't want to overhype this. This is my risk. This is my play. At the end of the day, or what I put into it is, what I'm willing to lose. And so, for those of you guys, looking for a re-entry or something like that, it is basically back over that previous 1450 that I think that we are going to make our way back up to that top. But man, mark my words, one day.
It looks sexy though.
It looks so damn good, dude. And this is actually one of these setups that typically a retail trader is going to do this, right? And this, coming down to the lows, is a short play. What typically happens is you get the big rejection down. Maybe they even whip it, and then they whip it right the fuck back up and it squeezes out. And that is exactly, if it does not bounce or move back up down, exactly what I would expect for something like this. And at the end of the day, if you need to hedge yourself with longer expiration puts all the way down to fucking 850, if you're weirded out by something like this, or just don't. It's not like it's, applying to anything that I do on a regular basis. It's just the empty space, the consolidation is just too juicy. Too juicy. All right. Let's take a look really quickly. Thank you, Alex. By the way, Alex, maybe you could do OT today or something if you want to, but why don't you start just chucking designs at me? And if we end up picking a few of those, I will pay you for it. Mock-ups, is that what professionals call that? I don't know. Something like that. That sounds professional. Send me some mock-ups, Alex. All right. Today is Monday. We had fast anal. I don't know how well that went. You're free to explore that. I will leave it alone. Tomorrow, before the open, we have BlackRock. So we're going to start there. The ruler. You rather have a investment in BlackRock or Citadel? Oh, damn. Okay. All right. So first things first, before I do anything else, how does it move? Big leg down. That I can't imagine what the contracts are on that. Does anybody want to look that up while I do this? Look at the contracts. That's got to be $1 billion. I don't know. Maybe not. That being said, earnings, decent move, I guess, for, it's $120 move there. Nope.
Yeah,
Decent.
The weeklies can be like $2,000.
Really? I mean,
This Friday's 5 out of the money or $10.
talk to me. See, I might have to gamblini on the fucking. I made a little bit of cash, so I throw a little bit of. Let me see. All right. Well, first of all, we're gonna have a good setup here. This is not for the small account, 100%. So when you leg down, you legged down and retested. You obviously have a gap down there. The next target would be 1087. Oh, we're playing fucking fire, dude. I'd go 1010 down. But yeah, I would say this is not good, but me and Chad like to go on little journeys together.
Good examples, man.
I'm not. What I'm doing is wrong, and I'll show you the results of this. Yeah, I'm gonna lose.
10 cents or 40 cents.
Here goes Chad, ain't
I'm just letting you guys know. I'm not,
Come on,
I'm
Chad.
not in it.
No, come on, Chad. You just read the contracts out to me. Don't you dare.
I'm buying equity.
Peer pressure stuff.
You're wild. All right. Anyway, that's a trash stock. JPM. Again, doesn't move on earnings. Nope. That was already ripping and already out of the box into all-time highs. That was pretty good. Okay, that was pretty fire. Seems like this one has a little bit more gumption, you know.
I hate Jamie Dimon anyway.
You hate who?
Jamie Dimon,
Jamie Dimon. I said Jay Diamond.
another fraud.
Yeah. Love it.
I got 2
Anyway.
mortgages with them motherfuckers.
Oh, fuck. Hello, sir. Would you like to refinance your house again and
Oh
again?
my God, I did that.
I bet they were stoked. All
I'll
right.
be paying till I'm 77.
Lord, not if we can help it, dude. Not if we can help
That'd
it.
be nice, man. That'd be nice.
You're the guy who talks nonsense about the Middle East. Oh, dude. Skedaddle. We're making money here. Anyway, I see the potential punchback to the upside at 312. Obviously, leading up into new highs, the 330s could be an option. It's not the worst. You do have empty space as well, down to 293. So if that's something that looks like a reasonable bank earnings move, it's not the cream of the crop, and I didn't expect it to be that way. Expect a lot of disappointment as we move through these earnings charts, especially with the small account. You're going to be like, really? No? And I'm going to be like, yep, not for me. Trying to go to Universal. Oh, yeah. If they're jacked, you already know the deal. So again, another bank one. So I already went over this one. Citigroup doesn't really move the way I like it, but if it does have an extended move after earnings, punch down below 93.23 would take you down to that 88.36, and then of course 83.50. Not my earnings trade. WFC. So again, earnings doesn't move. It did move there. It did have empty space below it. It had consolidation. It did not move here. It seems like they all, now that I'm looking at all these charts, they kind of move together, but big ass move right here, nice and juicy. Big ass move here, nice and juicy. Big ass decent move, little ass big ass move to the floor here. I mean, you had empty space down below, so that seems to be an absolute key factor here. You dipped and ripped, and your ass was grass, but it was a beautiful punch back to the upside following that, so not too bad. That earnings set you up for a dip and rip as well, which is pretty. That was a pretty good earnings. So I think out of all of them, this one is probably the best that I've seen. Now, obviously, we got a little fake out here, but not too fast, or not so fast, because we're still underneath our seller control. We have a gap down below, which I think would execute a punch down. That target directly below you. So when I'm telling you this information, where these targets, where it can go, those are price targets, right? Those are, and because we do target-based contracts, this is why I tell people, I don't do signals, but if you're fucking big brain, know the strategy, you should be able to keep up here. That's a weird box, really weird box. I don't know what the news was on this one, but clearly punched it out. But I would be looking down at the 76.11. And this does have empty space all the way to 74 and 72.74, or 72.74, yeah. So 74 down. If you can punch back up and over the 79.55, 4 hour punch back is here. So outside of 80.50, the target to the upside would be 83. Very simple. Decent. You guys need to look at the contracts and see if that is right for you. Next one is Johnson & Johnson. Send me over a cliff. All right.
Get the baby oil, baby.
Oh no. Well, ever since Diddy stopped buying, dude, they've been going up. Reputability is through the roof. I don't really know what to tell you on this one, folks. And I look at it immediately and I'm like, nope. You do have empty space down. I take punchbacks. I take compression. This is not compression. In fact, let's go look at how it moves. Here you get a giant ass rip, right? But you did come out of consolidation. Here, nothing. Here, nothing. You do rip afterwards. You do have empty space above you. Here, nothing. Here, rippy, empty space to your left. So yeah, downside maybe, or Johnson & Johnson decides to go up. Again, I have zero edge here. No edge. Okay.
Does
like
that
the-
not look like the move's baked into you, or
Yeah. What do you mean? Like the what do you mean baked in? Like downside
Well, it's
move is
like-
baked in?
the upside part of it's already been baked in, and it's gonna dump?
I can't, but is that
That's speculation.
that's just
Yeah.
speculation. And that's the difference between, like, if you can afford it, again, if that's what you want to do, fine. But what I also can tell you and / show you is that it did move down and it did fill up quite a bit of that empty space. And that is not always my favorite, because now you have the imbalance at 184.50 to bounce at. This is just something that, because there is, again, let's remind ourselves what a good setup looks like. This was an earnings setup, empty space directly up above, clear. This was not earnings, but obviously same play down. But Schwab, right? Same thing. Compression. Beautiful box. Beautiful box. Beautiful empty space. That is what I'm looking for. So everybody here who is on TikTok, we hit fat earnings plays. Listen, if it really, sometimes you don't need to overcomplicate things. That is what we need to train our eye to look for. Once you get there, then we can problem solve. Contracts look right, price targets, all this other good stuff. Doesn't move on earnings, but it needs to look like this for me, because this is how I keep my money safe and I make my money grow. Is I try not to put my money into too much dumb shit. Sometimes a little dumb shit is fun, but got to have a dumb shit suit on, so that way you can come out unshitted upon. All right. Anyway, let's see what's the next one. That one's not going to be an option. I can tell you that right now. Hold on. Oh wow, I feel like I gave that analysis forever ago. I don't think I have ever traded DPZ. It did have a big ass move there. Weekly. It's got a lot of empty space up, maybe a little bit of a bounce there. I think this, Stratos goes out the window here. And then secondly, does it move? No. 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 Oh yeah, it did right there. Pizza fell on the floor. Little gap up right there. Gap up right there. Nothing. Contracts are going to be extremely expensive. If I'm not mistaken, the only target I can give you down is 396. The only target I can give you up is 492. But that's not something I'm going to trade. So again, no. Eric. Nope. Nice gap up though. Weekly. That's a hard no. ACI? I didn't know Albertsons was. Oh shit. Oh, they're fresh. They're fresh meat. All right, better do some kooky shit real quick. Hold on. Nope. Gotcha. And then you're just burning sideways, but a lot of the times that'll be a huge channel. Weekly 24. Doesn't move. No. No. It's not that fresh meat. Oh, never mind. Why? Damn. That's been on there since 20. That's not fresh at all. Just looks fresh. All right, 24 hours. I can't see a move on this one. It looks like this is all trash, 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 trash. Yep, easy. Nope. I know there's empty space down below, but Nope. And BCE, which is the BCE apparently. Did they already? Looks like they might have moved it. Does it move on earnings? Dump down? No. Not really. I mean, kind of. No. No. That was after earnings. Or yeah, the big dump. Yeah, that's a no from me as well. So trash as expected. These, I don't even know if I should chart them. What the fuck is a Karoo? Probably canoes. It's got to be canoes. What else could they be selling? Equity bank shares. Not my interest. Now here, maybe a little bit more. We can spend some time after hours charting that. So that's it. Not really that great. That's okay. Don't be disappointed. It's not worth it when we have so many earnings that we are going into earnings season. So, yeah, if you don't see anything, fine. All right. If you have any further requests, if you're on TikTok, please tap the shit out of your screen. Go ahead and drop those now. We'll finish up with your guys' request. As far as swings, every time I go to type that, same thing. Sezzle hit the floor for me today. I know you guys were talking about this one. I got my alert, I'm going to set my alert at 80, 90, or basically 81, and I'm going to leave it at that. I don't care what it does. You know, if you want to short it, that's on you. That's going to be obviously something that low of day would be of interest. Also CAR, which does have a better candle close and does have a high of day that would allow for us to potentially go higher, but we are still in range. 4-hour candle looks good. 4-hour candle looks good. The first resistance will unfortunately be 152. And then at that point, you're looking for 158. So this could be a great place potentially for longs. Did that just happen? Oh, that's weird. That's my chart, dude. That's not what it sounds like. Damn, your wife. You must scare your wife. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just saying.
I don't have a wife.
Oh, never mind.
What an
Ma-
asshole.
Is that why? No, I'm just kidding.
Probably.
husband.
It's like, hey, baby.
We listen and we don't judge.
That we listen and we don't judge. That's good stuff.
Homer Simpson.
I'm not.
Run is breaking out.
What am I supposed to do with this, Chad?
And I run.
What are you doing with this, Chadwick? I can't.
25.
It's all you, Poppy. Oh, 2237, 2580. Go for it.
Yeah, that 25s.
Yeah. Recap earnings watch list. Trash. No.
What's
Well,
the
Wells
plan for
Fargo
the,
was like okay,
Universal?
but
Are we all doing our own account and contributing, or what?
yeah. So like, here's the
I have a
thing.
question.
Yes.
So are you going to be giving signals because you want everybody to make money?
I mean, the goal is that we take these trades together. I'm going to tell you guys the earnings trades that I take. I'll post them in my channel or in the watch list channel. These are obviously strictly for, well, I mean, you could take them in your main account. I don't give a shit. But yes, if you would like to go to Universal, if that is, now we got to make the money first, right? But if you want to go to Universal, slap $500 in a side account, Webull or something like that. $1,000, $500, and we're gonna go through earnings every single week, every single day, and we're gonna look for potential great setups. And if it does not fit the script, you guys are gonna be probably pissed at me for the first week because this first week sucks balls. But it just, if they don't look perfect, if they don't look like Nike, I'm not piling into it. And that's the thing is with a small account, I'm trying to show you that that's how you have to operate. Smaller accounts have have it the worst. I mean, going back to that, every time I do, it feels like a nightmare. Now I'm going into this earnings, I mean, it's not, I'm not just trading, I'm going into earnings, you know, a little bit differently, but yeah, if you want to go to Universal as a group, we're going to try to fucking flip this. If more than 100 people are going, which I think the limit if we rent the park out is 12,000. But if we hit that, then yes, at some point, if it go overpasses it or whatever, then we would pull that money together. Yes, I would.
Are we gonna
We-
stay in the
We
same
would have to
hotel?
clone
Are-
our whole families to get 12,000.
Own our whole what? Say that again. That was some far out shit
The
right
limit
there.
is 12,000. The limit is 12,000.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I got you, brother.
Yeah. Okay. Hit that shit again, dude. All right.
On the bar tabs.
I'm going no matter what.
He said I'm going.
I'm gonna hang on by a little thread.
There are a lot of Mexicans.
If
can
you
fire
need
up real
that
quick.
visa, let me know.
Oh my God. There's another marriage proposal for you. Just tell your partner. Well, no, dude. Ivy's got a partner. See, somebody's got to marry her partner, and then you guys have to get. Oh, that's not a great response, Ivy. So TTD has it's just sitting, which honestly at this point it did leave empty space behind. It does have a little gap that it's sitting on. I say set an alert at 53 right there, or 53.45, and one right here at 52.33. Both of those alerts firing off, that would give way to cost basis, and that'll give way to that empty space. But what I do think might happen here is that it goes and hits 50 again, being its floor. So we can set an alert on that as well, and we're set up.
I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about adding to my TSLL longs because they were originally a short, but we're passing cost bases.
Okay.
Do you think this is right? I'm up
was
like
your-
60% on the hedges.
So one of the things that, yeah, I mean, it's obviously a decent signal right now to get to your next target of 2112. So I don't hate that.
I was gonna keep my puts too.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't go crazy. The thing is we have to boil this down to, does it have a punch back into empty space that is going to give you the move that we're looking for? No. But what it does have, right.
You know what I just realized? My box is different on the 2 hour. It's different from yours.
Roger.
So I have a punch back, but look, I'm gonna send you it.
Okay. I mean, this might be you know what? I can probably tell you what it is. 357, guys. If you're gonna place
I was
your,
also gonna ask. My chart sometimes looks different than yours, and I have the extended and all that on.
Yeah, mine too.
you know
That's just
what? I mean, isn't
Not a lot. It seems like you're right though, Potter. And we're all
I hope
blue.
so. Well, why don't we'll pause or stop the live or stop the recording once the bell rings, and you guys can show me your charts if you want. And we'll look
Yeah, I'm
at
gonna just grab them.
Shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna pop a neuro gum. Here we go.
Tesla?
Now, what I was saying on TSLL/Tesla is this type of move, bouncing off the floor, moving back up after such a large move down, could usher in a short squeeze. With the amount of overhead pressure and the fact that the range up above us is 21, it's 50% is 21.22. I am almost positive that if it pops off that top, that's where Tesla screams, right? You're also trading inside of this channel here. So that is a promo.
All right, I'm
They
just.
have earnings next week, though. They do have earnings next week.
They have earnings next week. Oh, that's right. They do.
Yes, sir.
They do. That. So yeah.
Changes things, huh?
Look. Well, it does, and probably not in the way that you want it to, because where are we at? Right? We are.
Also, it's not just
Pretty high
earnings;
up there.
it's earnings right before shareholder meeting.
Here's what I can say to myself for legal reasons with absolute certainty.
Not a
With-
financial advisor.
It's not at all. This is just a video game. None of this is. You're actually in a Oh fuck. You're in a Elon simulation right now. He got you with the Neuralink 2 years ago. We're just breaking the news now. Here's what I can tell you with just, yeah, it's so clear to me. 2133 is where you go and hit this floor. When you hit this / break it, you rip. When you break down below 1677, you dump. Or you reject it, you dump. Dump. So, with that information, right? If earnings, we have the consolidation to make the move going into earnings, both to 1380. And this is where the kicker comes in, because we don't have empty space, but this is also a trick. Question. Box. Not a question. It has empty space inside of that, just like Tesla did, right? Tesla already filled it. Right? It's already up, and this is obviously going to be our guideline. But Tesla, and so what's interesting to me is that TSLL still has more opportunity up, whereas it's just all-time highs for Tesla. And Tesla, its main goal is to hold its ass up, right? Hold, don't hold, fall. Here, we dipped underneath, gapped back up. So the trajectory right now, to me, obviously could be, yes, up. But between now and earnings, right, this is set to change. They could initiate that squeeze beforehand, and we could rip into earnings / we could this today could be a retest. We could hit that overhead wall, which I can still see the same clarity. That's 446.85. And that would probably be my target for tomorrow. So if we could break that tomorrow, you know, for sure. But anyway, 402. Yummy. Alrighty. Wait, is ICE going to be a universal? I mean,
Oh shit.
Look out, man.
no. I
I'm not
mean,
going.
I'm not trying to be a white savior here, though. But I'm going to be in jail if that happens. I'm gonna let you know right now. I will go to jail. I'll set bond money aside.
But seriously, Potter, like these contracts are so.
Tesla?
What would you do? Yeah, like what would you go after?
For Tesla? For Tesla,
Yeah.
here's the deal. It is one of the few stocks, right? Nvidia's, sometimes the Qs, sometimes the ETFs, where not often, but with Tesla, when it does move, it carries a meme stock IV. It's one of the most, if not maybe the most, watched stock. I think Nvidia is obviously was a tight runner up. But with that being said, you can play this almost $100 out of the money. That's something me and Manny can attest to for sure. Now, if you can't trade Tesla and you don't want to make that compromise, because if it goes in the opposite direction, it's not going to be fun, because you're playing with purely extrinsic value, and that's slippery. So
that's not terrible. I mean, you could for a small account, you could buy 2 or 3 or 4 contracts.
Sure, but you could also go with TSLL and play that, or if you have a small account, you just don't. If I'm being 100% honest with you, if you have to compromise, you shouldn't, because in order the steps that you climb up to profitability from a small account are weak and crumbly. They fall beneath your feet if you fuck up on one of those steps, right? You take a Tesla trade, and if you have $500, and you take a contract that's $50, right? you've already got, if you buy 2 contracts, you already got a decent chunk of your account in that trade. And so like it's make or break. So when you're climbing up those steps, you have to be almost, no, I don't want to say almost, you have to be more disciplined than somebody who has more. Now that's not to say somebody who has more doesn't have to be disciplined, because you can lose a lot of money real fast.
Yeah, but your theory is that it might not go up 100 points, but if it goes up 50, you're in the money. You're going to be making money.
You're going to be making money, but at what cost? At what potential cost? And then at that point, I think TSLL, having the opportunities that it has, would allow for you to not have to compromise and have a way more manageable position. So trade 3 contracts for possibly 10 to 15. And you've got a setup where, you're not gonna be able to pull. And I'm not looking at the contracts right now. Let me take a peek really quick. So let's say this happens tomorrow, right? We're going to assume that the contracts are, we'll probably be up a little bit more for sure if we hit 446. The target to the outside, or to the upside, again, this is uncharted territory for me. And yes, I'm going to go here. Don't look. It's going to get really scary here. Oops, I always do that. I did it again. I don't even know how to type this shit. Would rely on something like this, right? Fibonacci. And again, this is automatically done, so it's probably, I personally would just do it yourself. That being said, you're going to be relying on psychological targets like 500 or 550. And yes, if I see Tesla rip up to the highs, based on the experience I've had with Tesla, right? It does, when it rips, there's no other way to word this way. When it rips, it just rips and it keeps going. And yes, that's when contracts, if you're here at 360, this is 480, whatever. But if you were playing at this point at the break, if you were playing with 450s or 420s, obviously, yes, even before you get there up at 360, 396, you're going to be pumped. But as soon as you see that big fat red candle, half. And that's where it gets really rough, because if we're not moving in a straight line, and I think the question we have to ask ourselves, and at the end of the day, you got to do what you're going to do, but is it worth it? Or are there better or potentially better opportunities, or maybe even something that runs alongside Tesla, like TSLL, that we could attach ourselves to? So for a small account, I personally think that focusing on that is or a good solid setup, especially on earnings, is key, because based on the evidence that I've seen, the same trade that I would take on a normal basis is the same trade I'll take on earnings. Just everything moves faster.
Good stuff. Thanks.
Lulu has options. Oh, you're back. Oh, Duluth, listen, listen, you don't want this smoke. I promise you don't. This is, I don't mean to fucking toot my own horn, but if we're comparing and contrasting, you run a selling options group. Okay. You're like a little kid's tiny horse racing. And this is Kentucky 500. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't even comment on your horse, because that's a different horse. I don't care what you have. Also, hold on. Yeah, you do. How to sell? Yeah, like you got something. So if but also you don't have to. You don't have to buy my shit. Everybody who follows me knows this. You can go to my YouTube channel. You can follow along every single day, and there is a large amount of individuals in here who made the money to join it. But I also spend a lot of fucking time in here. So, all right. You don't want it. She makes market passive income 10 minutes per day. I mean, that's how many headlines have we seen there? The selling options is good for some people, but and you could use my strategy, which you could learn on my YouTube and watching these streams, and you could probably sell options even better. I think there's a handful of people in here who, maybe even less than a handful of people in here who sell options, but oh, now you're backpedaling. Oh, this is so fun. Now I'm a block you. Boom, got you. I said they said I was just replying to somebody else. That's so gold. I love this shit. All right. Let's do a few more and then we'll go ahead, and if you guys want me to look at your charts, I can. You really want smoke with BA again? Holy shit, though. It gapped up, held the floor, bounced off of that. Would have been a good bounce trade today. Nice bounce off the floor, closed up against the first green candle to your left. That left is right there at 215.90. You've got a nice little box right here. That box leads to empty space. Set your alert right there. Boom, bada bing. You might be able to catch that thing, but I would be.
Trump said Boeing 10 times today. Nah, I can't say that. At least five times in the speech today.
Oh, did he really? Okay. I mean, honestly,
He also says some other crazy stuff.
yeah. I hate Boeing planes, but I love them today.
I'm not going to say it, Potter. Block it up.
I sell options because I can't do what Potter does. Have you ever tried never saying that again? Have you ever tried not saying that about yourself? That would be a wonderful start. I truly think that there is a space within my strategy. I think everybody can learn this. I know that. It might be harder for others and take longer for others than, but if you say that you can't do something, your brain is going to search for sufficient evidence all the time to back that up. Just like when you buy a new car or a fucking a shirt, you're going to see the dude or somebody who's wearing the same shirt. It's going to pop out, or the same car. Your brain has a filter in it to filter out relevant information. And so your mindset and your attitude and what you think sounds like some hippy dippy shit. But I swear to God, this shit didn't start working until I said it was going to. This shit did not start working until I said it was going to. And I meant it. I was like, nah, this shit is motherfucking going to work. I will not. There is no other options. I was losing my mind in front of my wife. I was like pulling my hair. I was like, God, like there's something here. But yeah, I get no girls either. Well, that was terrible.
So for me,
Sounds
your
good to me.
your boxes are usually dead on. So I tried to create a little something for me because I can't make them as good as you. And I do trend lines, the trend line on the highs and the peaks, and then the middle close spaces, and that's
Okay.
my box.
Okay.
But yours is like pinpoint.
So is there a way for you to show me your charts though that you have?
No, I'm in a bad situation right now. I'm on my phone and I'm up a hospital all day.
Okay. You got a computer at the crib or a laptop or something?
Yes, yeah, I got a little laptop. Yeah, I'm going to try it when I get home later.
Okay. Okay, cool. Is it like what kind of laptop is it?
I don't know. Not a great one.
Not a great one?
Uh,
I might have I offered this to somebody else and I ended up acquiring one. Shoot me a DM after the bell. Might be able to help you out with that. But let's obviously get you a mouse, that might help. And then that way I want to see you chart. I don't want to send you any corrections right now without having the ability to see it. But once you do get home, if you can send me some of your charts, that would be helpful. And then when you use I know this is a silly question, but when you use your laptop, do you use a mouse or do you use a little finger pad?
The finger pad.
Let's get you a mouse. I promise it makes a
All right,
difference.
I'll get one. Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else can back me up on that one, but I cannot chart with my finger like on a mouse pad.
Dude,
I can't.
Using a mouse makes it so much easier.
Yeah, I'm flying on
Especially when
on
you
the
have to scroll like a million miles back.
Yeah, oh my God. It's like,
That shit
yeah,
sucks.
dude, I'm sure when I tell laptop users to just look left, they're like, oh, fuck.
How far left?
Oh,
I
no.
know.
I might, you know
That's
what
what
I'm
I've
gonna
been
start
doing,
doing? I'm gonna start. I have too many peeps. I'm gonna start picking up some of these tech stuff. These extra. I have access to like mouses and stuff like that. I might start pulling those together. So that way, join Simple Stacks and get a free random used mouse. That'd be funny. The rollerball mouse was the best.
Listen, I could get a mouse, a brand new one, and plug it in, and see what I can do with it.
Oh, I was joking about the mouse, but the laptop, it hit
I'm
me
just
up.
saying, I'm
Nah,
not
I'm
that
just
poor.
no, just messing with you, dude. I just want to make sure that I know that sounds so weird, but it's like, yeah, I don't think I've ever even talked about that. But having a mouse versus like a pad, man, it just makes, oh man, you're gonna be like, oh, so good. I'm out of here, Potter. Have a great birthday. Oh my god.
Hey, do you have any cheap laptops or anything you recommend? Because I'm still all on my phone.
Shit.
Wow, I even
was
got a
gonna-
little cheap laptop.
I was gonna wait until like I made some money and then just get a MacBook so that way I can edit my golf videos on it as well. But
Yeah, wait for Black Friday sales. They're
Yeah, I was
really
gonna
good.
say wait for Black Friday sales. And then what I would do is wait outside of the store and like the darker hours, wear darker clothing, and
Get a
just
hood.
borrow that before they put it in their car. Just let them know as you're running away. Just be like, I'll bring it back when I'm done, and just. Oh my god.
trying to turn me into a domestic terrorist. That's crazy.
Execute him, Ivy. Execute him. No, I would say Black. But oh god, Black Friday is yeah a good option. That's coming up soon, as well. But then let's, dude, don't ask me for tech stuff because honestly, I'm a toxic buyer where I assume whatever costs the most has got to be the best.
I am the exact same. That's why I was just waiting to afford a MacBook.
You're too big to be robbing 7-Elevens, dude.
I've
But
had
but for the thrill of it,
Got
dude.
that right.
You know what I mean?
MacBooks are good, man. I like my MacBook. I've had my MacBook since 2015, and the only thing I've had to change on it was a battery, and I still use it to this day.
Yeah, Palantir's gonna be watching you though.
That's
Okay,
okay.
so
They've probably been watching me since 2015.
Well,
I have a 2018 MacBook if you want that.
The golfer dude that
Yeah, what's up?
yeah, you're too big. You told me how big you were last time to rob a 7-Eleven.
Just a little bit.
That's what she told me.
Wait, you're not
He'll
big.
recognize you in a second.
I do want that.
No, Juan, that's what you think she told you, bro. Relax.
Oh
I got
my
recording.
He says I got the receipt.
All right.
What's the goal or timeline for the Universal trip? What are we shooting for?
So I think next year would be a better option. I think spring, like right after all the allergies kind of fade away. Like maybe April, or yeah, like I don't want it to be too hot. I hate going when it's like hot as balls. Listen, I'm not built like you. That's why you guys are so crazy. That's why we see
Man, I
Florida
go there
Man headlines.
Every month's hot there, man.
Some months you get a cool breeze though. Okay, you do get a cool breeze. Yeah, but anyway,
What part
so
was chosen? Which one are you going for?
so I think I don't know if we could talk about that now. I think that most people are planning on going to some of the parks outside of the one we rent because I can only rent it in after hours. So we would have it to ourselves from 8 to 12. So like as soon as 8 hits, like give your kids some NeuroGum and let's ride.
That's
but
a
like,
one night thing, Potter. Or
yeah, it's one night, dude.
8 p.m. at night?
Yep. Yep.
All right, so nobody show up drunk at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Enjoy
Or
yourself.
yeah, well, here's the
do.
thing. I'm not gonna. I don't think we show up there that day, wait all night. Obviously, I think the goal. I'm not here. I'm not here to make.
No, show up 7:30, wait for 8 o'clock, and let's go in.
No. I'm saying like there's Volcano Bay, right? If we end up doing this, I'll book a week. So I'll be there for a week. So
I was gonna
anybody who,
say,
you
I'm
know,
not just going to that one thing.
hell no, dude. You're not gonna. If you're gonna get my money, you're gonna get a chunk of it. I'm just kidding. But like, yeah, I'm gonna go down there, and spend the whole week there, and then I would assume probably the last night would be the rent out night. So that way, you know, we could, if anybody does want to hang out or do park stuff, you know, intraday, that'd be dope. But and then we'd have a posse, so we could like push people out of the way. That'd be sick.
Do
We'll
you
get
mind
any.
if I
Are there gonna
spend
be fat
500
kid?
Potter,
What?
do you mind if I send you my 500 ahead of time? And then you
Whoa,
just
hold
double
on.
your
That's not how this is working.
You gotta follow. You gotta. It's basically the same thing, right? We're doing this together. So and who knows? Maybe this earnings season sucks balls and nothing sets up.
we wind up in River Street in Savannah.
Yeah, or we end up like going to there's a place, what is it called, Splash in the Borough down in Statesboro. It's like
Great Wolf?
it's like $100.
You guys
Yeah.
are welcome to South Philly, but you've got to wear flak jackets. You know, it gets crazy around here sometimes.
Ain't that the truth?
Damn. I mean, that could be thrilling, but weird. I'd rather have Potter.
We can take a trip down to Kensington, bro. That'll be fun.
Yo,
Oh
crazy.
man, that's where my halfway house was. What a mess. Bodies on the ground. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Holy shit. I've seen some. I saw a walkthrough. A dude walked down Kensington, and with a fucking GoPro on, and it looked like The Walking Dead, but even the zombies have more action. Like
They
they're
never
moving.
hit the ground. They flip
No.
over. They no.
You know what? That should be studied.
The
Their ability to avoid gravity. Yeah.
It's like 20 minutes from me. I-95 up and exit. Man, it's a mess over there.
That's crazy. How old did I turn today? You guys are crazy. And no, it's not my birthday.
33 and a half, no?
55? 55.